Over the years, DC has been home to some of the funniest names in comedy. Joe Clair, Mike Brooks, and of course our own Dave Chappelle. If you want jokes, the district is still the place to be. This is what I wish you knew about DC being the district of comedy. What's poppin'? I'm Waynika Walls. The comedy scene in DC is on fire. With spots like DC Improv, The Hunt, Beer Baron, and more, you can basically catch stand-up, improv, and/or sketch almost every night of the week. Here to tell you what they wish you knew are...
Hey, I'm Caleb.
Hello, I'm Zeppelin.
And I'm Mahogany.
So panel, tell me, with all the new talent popping up, funny people, everything like that, who are some of the people that are popping for you guys that are, you know, up and coming or even that have made it?
I like Jess Hilarious. She said, pull up your shoes. She said, pull up your shoes.
Yeah, I think Jess Hilarious is funny. I love, especially when she roasts people. Like, I think it's really lit. She definitely does. I think for me, I'm old school, but I'll say some of the new people are like B. Simone and the guy Desi, because they do a lot of like sketches online, and I think it's a little difficult to keep an audience online, especially with comedy, because it's easy to get tired of it. But I love them. I think they're hilarious.
I love Tiffany on Girls Trip. Like, she had me cracking up. And just to see like how that just put her on that platform to just do different things like Saturday Night Live. And the thing, like, she just turned 38. And I just told you right there, like, there's no age frame and no deadline to when you can become successful. Like, she owns it. She's funny as I don't know what. And it's just like, I'm just excited to see what more things she's going to do, especially being a woman in the comedy industry. It's big.
Tiffany Haddish, I love her. I seen her interview on a real popular like radio show, and it's funny because they always say comedians are very funny, but they also like battle with a lot of things behind the scenes. And I literally seen that in her. Like she would make the worst moments funny in the interview. Like you could see her face go from like all the way down, and then it would light up because she would try to make. So
it was like her coping mechanism way. That was her coping.
I was like, literally, it was like a child going through something horrible, but then having a dream, and then like making it funny, and we all laughing, but it's like, bruh, that's really
like
not.
She really going through it right now. That's real life.
Is Tyrese a comedian?
Yeah.
He's been making me laugh.
We're not going there.
He's going through something.
We're not going there. That's a whole
I just want my baby, man. Like,
it's social media. Everybody's a little. Well, I'll say everybody thinks they're funny.
What more do you?
It's almost sad. It's like
but I think what it makes great comedy is when you turn a negative into a positive.
For sure.
So because
it's the art to it.
Cat Williams, he always has something he goes through these traumatic events. And you just flip it on, you make it hilarious. Dave Chappelle, of course.
So since we're speaking of Cat Williams, who y'all top? We'll say top two comedians.
Top two? I don't know if I can. Three? Can we do three?
Go ahead.
Three.
Get your life.
Chris Rock, George Carlin, and right now, probably Gerard Carmichael.
Oh, okay. Little Chris Rock in there.
Yeah, Chris is my number one, and I don't really know enough about comedy to give a number two, but
just hilarious.
But not at that level. I'm not gonna put like Chris and Jesse. It's a different level. Yeah,
it's levels to this.
I'm trying to think of like somebody who I like Martin. I like Martin. I think Martin has like some classic joints. I like Martin.
I gotta first say Cat Williams because I remember when his stand-up came out, like I was on the floor, cracking up at him.
Dying.
Tiffany Haddish and definitely our guest Paris Sachet, like she's doing it right now in DC.
Oh, yeah.
She's up and coming, you know. So we gotta definitely represent.
Yeah, for me, I have a top one. It's Martin Lawrence. Like, I'm probably biased because he lived here at some point in this area. But Martin, like, he is hilarious. Like, his show, if you take the fashion out and the furniture out, it could come on today and you would still laugh. That's like, it's still, it can be played today and it's hilarious.
Bernie
I seen
Mac.
Bernie.
That's
Hold
my
up,
dude,
wait.
too.
We
Yeah,
forgot about
yeah,
How can we
Bernie.
forget?
Yeah.
You
I mean, because
can't.
when you start talking about them shows at that point, then I'm like, you know, like
That's what we
Chappelle,
grew up
Bernie,
on
like,
watching them.
right, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Kings of Comedy.
The Kings of Comedy
They're
and the
really
Queens of
good.
Comedy.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Cedric, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cedric's
He's
Cedric's
Cedric, too.
stupid.
He's
yeah.
so
Stupid,
funny.
yeah.
He is.
It's ridiculous how funny he is. I watched his
Yeah. I ain't
stand
scared
up
of y'all,
recently and was like, yeah. I think, how do y'all get y'all comedy nowadays though? Like for like up and coming, like is it social media for y'all? Because I know that's how it is.
It is social media. Like remember you mentioned about like the skits. You come across those or like with like Just Hilarious. She just be talking, interacting. Like you said, it takes a lot to bring that attention. They'll be doing like 3-4 videos and showing some, or they use that as like their marketing tool to brand themselves and showing what they're doing, and then that's gaining more people's views and attention to it. So social media, I think, has just been a great platform for comedy as a whole now, because millennials, that's what we're their first go-to is social media.
For sure.
I mean, I still watch like the Wildin' Out and like some of the YouTube
It's
clips,
funny.
and so like Nick Cannon. I mean, his talent aside, I think he's done a great job of introducing like new
Absolutely.
people to the culture, and so like there'll be people who I'll find out on Wildin' Out, and then like I'll go Google them, and I'll be like, oh, like okay, bet. So Wildin' Out is one of the places that I still find a lot of dope talent.
For me, social media as well, but I'm a real stand-up head, so I always go on YouTube. I'm always going on some type of comedy blog. Well, this is a new person, or when it comes to your sitcoms like Superior Donuts, I'm reading who wrote this, and then that's how I found who Don Glover is, Childish Gambino. He was a writer on 30 Rock.
Yeah.
Had no idea who he was, and I was like, oh, so I'm very in particular about what I like, but for the most part, just to see somebody get roasted is social media. And little skits are like Niles, the Lean Squad. They do that. You know, they're pretty good.
So we've got to take a quick break, but stay with us. We've got jokes here on I Wish You Knew. You do not want to miss this.
I think Eddie Murphy
so scared to have kids, and not for normal reasons. For like the reason that your child will come out ugly, because you don't see it for 9 months. It's all on the sonogram, a great picture and shit. You just so happy. Ooh, my baby boy. What he look like though? That's all that matters now. What he look like? I'm scared if I have an ugly child, I'm not gonna be able to accept that. I can't tell the baby I'm pregnant. No. Now I'm pregnant for 9 months. I'm all stressed out. I pushed the little baby out. The doctor take the baby in the nursery, bring the baby back, like, here you go, Miss Swenson. You sure? This me. Right there? I can't go pick one, like I can't go to the nursery myself. 9 months of pain, I don't get a choice. Right, because I can see me now telling the baby, like, I'm not your mother, I'm your aunt.
Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. That funny lady is DC's own Paris Sachet, and she joins us right here on the sofa. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So, how did you even get started in comedy? How did you discover this talent?
I dropped out of college. It's that great material comes from that.
So you dropped out of college and just was like, I'm about to go be funny, like.
I dropped out and I said I disappointed my mom, so now I have to make her happy.
Oh, okay.
And I was broke, so I mean, nothing's funny when you broke, but I had to make some sense of it. So it started one night at a hotel room. I was cracking jokes to all my friends. They signed me up for an open mic. I went. I got nervous. I hid in the bathroom because I didn't want to go out there. It was too many people. The host of the show came into the bathroom, knocked on the door, said she wouldn't continue the show until I came out. Wow. I came out. I was supposed to do 7 minutes. It was 60 white people there. There was no black people. I was terrified.
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. This could be it. This was right before Obama won. I was like, I don't know. This is looking shaky. I got to win. I came out. I did 13 minutes. It was funny. It was great. That was the start of my career.
Really? So, like, would you say that that's your favorite performance, or do you have a favorite and then like a most embarrassing, or?
No, that was the first one ever.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like you liked it though?
It was good. I mean, it was like a breaking into, like, that was my first time I fell in love.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's like, have you done anything where you were like, is it hard watching yourself back? Because I know sometimes watching
I
myself
hate watching myself. I don't like to hear my voice, but it's funny. My laugh makes me laugh, but I don't like watching it. I don't. That's someone to see me.
What goes into your preparation of being a comedian, and before you get on stage, what is that kind of like for you?
I have to listen to trap music because I have to commence my
Hey.
Yeah, I have to listen to like some Migos yelling at me saying I could do it. Some DMX is good for the spirit.
Okay.
It's like, get out there. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
X, this for you.
Okay.
So, and I just go over my material. Everything I talk about is real life though. Like even my baby joke that I really don't have kids. I'm scared that the baby can come out ugly. And that's not. It's just not good. Like social media didn't set it up that if you have an ugly baby and put it on Facebook, you're not gonna get a lot of likes. And you gotta take the picture down. And everybody already seen it. I don't want to be that person. So.
Yeah.
So like, if you could give, if there was like up and coming comedians, anybody who is thinking about doing it, what would you say to them? Like, what's the best piece of advice that you would give to someone who is thinking about doing it?
Stay at your day job.
That's not good advice.
It's not great advice. I wouldn't say do it. Because like people, it's fun. I mean, it's good for people. Like we give out medicine for people to heal their pain. But it's not like you don't get a lot of money in the beginning. So I wouldn't say do it. It's a lot of selling dreams and convincing people that you're going to be great one day. So borrowing a lot of money up front in hopes that in the end you'll get it back to give it to them. So I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm going to pay some people back, but not everybody.
So, are you is there anybody that who are some of the people that like you were inspired by or that you looked to for inspiration or?
I watched a lot of Def Comedy Jam as a child. So Bernie Mac, D.L. Hughley used to be one of my favorites, like as a kid.
Wow.
Some more,
Yeah.
just because she's a female and she's been doing it for so long.
She is funny.
Dick Gregory, I toured with him, rest in peace. He just recently passed away.
Hold on, you said you toured with him?
I toured with him.
It's lit.
What was that like?
It was
You know what I'm saying?
You said you did that real calm.
No, I mean, it was every show was like a learning experience. Every show at least was 2 hours.
Wow.
So you would sit there and like really listen. It was jokes, but it was the truth. It was like a history joke mixed with a little bit of comedy just to let you know that it was real pain.
Yeah.
So
how have you used your social media platforms to kind of brand yourself and market yourself? Because I feel like nowadays we go to social media a lot to gain that following base and to gain that. So you feel like, has that helped you gain your audience?
to a certain extent. More so, I think being on stage at actual shows helped me gain my audience because people follow me from the shows after they really see me deliver.
Right.
I'm all for the videos when I feel like posting them, but I'm more so of a stand-up comedian.
Hey, I'm here for that.
Now, what's it like being in the DC, the DMV music scene?
Comedy.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Yeah, the DMV comedy scene. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, no, because similarly in the music scene, you know, like it has its own challenges as well because, you know, it's not like a major city, New York, LA, Atlanta. Do you experience the same things being in the DMV comedy scene?
No, you just have to be great. And when you're great, you don't deal with the problems the challenges and problems people face on a daily. So it takes time, but once you get to that point where you are who you are, no one can deny you because they need you more than you need them.
Gotcha.
Is it camaraderie in the DC scene?
Hold that thought for me really quickly. There's still so much more ahead. We'll be right back.
So do you scrap your script or do you just go there and you just wing?
Welcome back to I Wish You Knew. So, I guess being a woman in any type of profession is very difficult. But in comedy, it's something that we don't really see it as often. And then when we do see it, they're not catapulted as far or as high as a lot of the male counterparts. So what would you say, like, have you experienced any type of hardship or anything that was difficult being a woman thus far?
I mean, it's a male-dominated business, of course, but that's another thing about you just being funny to the point that they can't deny you male or female. So it's not even about that anymore. It's about just what the purpose is, which is comedy. Because there's a lot of males that's not funny neither, but they don't talk about it. So,
True.
I mean, we have it hard, but as long as you stay funny and just don't sell yourself for stage time, you'll be fine. You'll be great.
What does that mean?
Don't trade sexual offers for comedy.
Is that a thing that's going on?
Yeah, it's a thing. So it's hard when you have women
that.
who vouch to not do it, and then you have other women like, if I can get 5 minutes at a big show, let me do it. But it's like once your 5 minutes is over, so is your career. Now you're back trying to sell your story, and it's too late.
Your reputation is done.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like sell yourself, like the whole. I don't want. If I'm a man, I don't want to put on a dress.
No.
That's the thing too.
Selling yourself.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Ain't no
that's a
what's happening.
choice.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, and people want money, so I feel like you're gonna do what you got to do to get to the dollars. A lot of people,
Right.
you know, because they'll sell themselves for money. Because
What it sounds like what Paris is saying is that if you're good, you don't
Right,
have to
you're
worry
genuinely,
about it.
genuinely
Right.
funny.
I
But the
mean, I
money
feel like
won't
it's
come
just
to
like
you.
sports. It's gonna come. Like, don't
it's
do
not gonna happen
anything.
fast. It's gonna
Yeah, because you're a female. That's what they want you to do automatically. Like, okay, I know I can convince her.
Yeah.
So they have 5 women they can't convince, and then it's the one just sitting there like, I'll do it, and then she just makes it look bad for the whole community.
Can we talk about roasting? Can you teach me how to roast? What are like roasting principles 101?
Really? You don't know how to do it at all?
I mean, like,
I
just
don't.
like, give me
You
some,
ain't
give me,
Joan?
give me,
I
like, give
didn't
me
know
some
I used to
tips.
Joan back in the game. I feel like it's a whole
Yeah.
nother
That's what
level
it is.
now.
No, it's not.
It's a
Join
level.
now. I just feel like just because it's on social media, everybody's like,
Changing
okay, it's
the name,
happening.
yeah.
It's the same though. It's just the goal is to say the meanest things you can say about the other person. That's it.
But
To
make
win.
it funny, like.
You,
But it
but you
gotta be
can't be
funny.
nice. It don't have to be funny. It can be something stupid. But then it has to follow up with something funny. But eventually, I mean, if you're looking at an ugly person and you're like, let me see what I think, don't just say the easy things. Say the most hurtful things. You have to win. It's like a game, and you have to win. That's all it
Okay,
is.
so roasting 101,
It's
just be
kind of
mean.
ruthless, just like.
I mean, you have to look the person up and down
Yeah.
and like
Pick 'em
observe and just pick them apart. Don't stop until you feel like it's over.
So do you
I'm all
roast
for
at,
that.
So do you roast at your shows with a heckler or anything like that?
Yeah, of course, but they don't win, and then it turns out bad.
They don't win.
And then afterwards, they probably want to apologize. My whole life story is don't get mad, get petty. That's my whole thing. I don't get mad, I just get petty. Everything I do is petty.
I need a T-shirt with
Wow.
that.
You know,
That's an amazing
I actually
slogan.
have
You
T-shirts. Don't get
T-shirts.
mad, get petty. Petty
That's
always
cool.
wins.
Yes.
Getting mad only makes you upset. But why do that when you can just get petty and move on?
Get petty.
So I mean,
petty.
roasting is just say the meanest things that you can say. Just look them in their eye, and then it's all about the act outs too. You have to like really get into it to make them scared. Like, what are they
bored,
thinking?
yeah.
And then you just say something so funny, and you have to laugh too, because you have to believe that that joke was way funnier than what they think.
So do you think acting is something that you're into? So, you know, comedians, a lot of the times how they end up transforming is
Yeah,
not their-
comedy is usually the beginning of it. So I'll be moving to New York in January, and after that, I'm going back into the acting field as well.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like,
So-
what is next for you? Like, off of not being on stand-up comedy, but what do you want
New
to go beyond
York
that?
tour.
Okay.
Come fall 2018, I should be touring more so. Like I tour now, but like officially on a tour as the feature act. TV shows,
Okay.
commercials, everything. I'm working on digging in deep into myself to see what my own show will bring out.
Yeah, speaking
So
into
that's like the
existence.
next big thing.
Because you've been on a couple of shows. You were on 50 Cent show as well, his new show.
Yeah,
Made
50
an appearance on
Central.
there.
How was that?
It was great. 50 Cent is the same person that we see on the videos. His mouth doesn't.
He's a comedian himself. Actually.
Yeah.
He is
just don't move-
hilarious.
it really
But
don't
see,
move.
the funniest thing about 50 Cent is when he actually tries to be funny, it's not funny.
It's
It's
not-
just ignorant. It's just 100%
Oh my
ignorant.
gosh.
And it's like, wow, this is really who he is.
Yeah, like, and that's what I get. That's 100%.
It's like full
what
face
I
value.
get.
What you see is what you
Do
get.
you feel like with social media being a big forum and a big place for comedians that it gets oversaturated, or everybody thinks they can be a comedian? And they
Of
think
course,
it's-
everybody thinks they can be funny. Everybody wants to tell you a joke all the time. Everybody wants to recommend all of their family members for, and it's like, stop. I speak for all comedians today, I promise. Just stop. We don't want that. When we're off stage, we don't want comedy 24/7. We don't want us to try to tell you your funniest joke. Because me personally, I laugh. Not at the joke, I laugh because you're trying to make me laugh. So I'm laughing for me. This is strictly for me. This has nothing to do with your jokes. But I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I think if you're not a comedian, sometimes we want a day off.
How would you recommend somebody who wanted to get started, you know, being a comedian? Where would you recommend that they start?
Have a horrible life. I don't think that you can be funny with everything going good, because
Okay.
what's funny at that point? So I think you need like some problems, like you need some curves, some alternative routes
Yeah.
to make the jokes funny, because I'm all about speaking your real truth. So everything I talk about is really the stuff I think. Now, it may be ignorant a lot of the times, but that's just where I come from as a person. So it's the truth.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So with you coming from DC, do you feel there's camaraderie in the city?
Comedy scene?
Yes, comedy scene. No one's like stealing jokes. No one's like.
People steal jokes all the time, but my thing about stealing a joke is no one can steal what's yours. So if it's your story, no one experienced your story. So you just have to make your story and your joke so original, it can't be stolen. So when someone else's do it, it's like, that's false, that's not your life, we don't believe you.
Gotcha.
Now if it's an easy joke that can't be stolen, maybe the joke was never that good to begin with.
We had a great time today. Thanks to Press Sachet for taking the time to be with us. And thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time on I Wish You Knew.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This year or next year?